I know we're a little bit backlit today, but hi, I'm Blythe Stevens, MFA Bliss Catalyst and creator of A Blythe Coach, where I help multi-passionates dance through their difficulties, and am a teaching artist and dance educator who sometimes shows behind the scenes of the creative process, the artistic, I guess it goes into lifestyle content, but a little peek into real life. And I was about to, the reason why I'm standing in the bathroom today is I was about to refill a couple of my very, very, very basic minimalist personal care items, toiletries that I do decant, and I thought I would talk to you about that in the process. So, why I've always been a little bit obsessed with finding favorites, picking favorites in this really mundane area of sort of everyday lifestyle, personal care products, is that simplifying in this area, I find, allows me to focus more of my energy, more of my decision making, more of my time and money, both things being very much related, on creative endeavors. So if your creative endeavors include more in the area of personal care or cosmetics or anything like that, not to say that that is wrong, but for me and for many creative people, it turns out that being more simple in a lot of the everyday aspects of life, as my project has been as simple as possible, then we're freeing up bandwidth in those other areas. So what I'm decanting right now is my Dr. Bronner's Lavender 18-in-1 natural soap. Maybe your favorite standard standby does everything soap is a different one. For me, this has been it for years, and it's wonderful. It works great for even spot treating laundry, but mostly what I use this for is face washing, hand washing, body washing. It's great for travel. I don't always have to pack it though, because luckily you can find it in many locations, and I like the lavender scent and the fact that it's so naturally made. I haven't found in a product sort of elsewhere that I love as much or is as versatile. So for me, Lavender 18-in-1 soap, Lavendel 18-in-1 Naturseife by Dr. Bronner's, which is continued by the Bronner family, I believe. It's a classic. I was introduced to it even as a child for camping, for dishwashing, for sort of outdoor purposes, but it's become my standby. And what I know is with this size of container, it'd be nice to store a bigger one and not have to restock so often, but in the smaller apartment, the space is just not really there. So I buy this size and buy a new one about twice a year, every 6 months. And then I've got one on the sink and one in the shower or the bath of these. And besides that, I am using in the shower just a few simple things. So I've got my Dr. Bronner soap. I've got a shaving oil. Don't care which one it is. This one that I'm using right now smells kind of strongly. I don't love it, but it's working great. And 50% apple cider vinegar I like to use on my hair and scalp. What little of it is there is. Baking soda or natron is the first step. I learned about this as a no-poo shampoo ages ago when I actually had longer hair, but it works really nicely to soothe my scalp, which is otherwise can be very dried out and irritated by any other kind of shampoo. Even as a child, I would use a tea tree or Happy Scalp Dandruff shampoo, but now I just use, for years long, I've used baking soda and apple cider vinegar, but it doesn't matter which ones. I have used this one, Kaiser Natron is readily available, but whatever is available where I am. That's what I use. I just put it into that little glass container so it doesn't get wet in the bathroom. I have this little Muji container in which I decant a all-purpose body oil once I'm out of the shower, once I wash my face to moisturize. Again, it doesn't super matter which one it is. This one is Balea from DM here in Germany, and it's a rose hip, I think, and hemp oil. Doesn't have to be this one, but I do really like this. It's working nicely and doesn't have a strong smell to it, which is nice. But it does have a glass bottle and dropper, which is fine getting out of the shower and moisturizing all over. But for the morning when I haven't showered yet or whatnot, just all general purpose moisturizing just the face or cuticles, I like to have it in this little pump, and that's also great for travel. So choosing these as minimal as possible, as few as possible products, and then just going back for basically the same thing as much as possible each time means that my shower, my personal care time, my hygiene mornings and evenings just takes place on autopilot. I don't have a lot of steps or a lot of decisions. I have 0 decisions to make and only a few steps. I did experiment, what was it, a year or 2 ago, probably when I turned 40, that would be 5 years ago, but maybe it was 42 or 43. I tried a retinol treatment, so an additional treatment step to my skincare, because dermatologists that I follow said that is one active ingredient that can have a measurable effect on skin's not just appearance, but its health and vitality. So I tried that out for a while. It seemed fine, had a smell to it, about a year actually, but I wasn't really sure if I was seeing a noticeable difference that much. The skin changes, for me at least, so far pretty slowly. I see aging signs, but not from today till tomorrow. But yeah, it was an extra step that I was doing every night, and for that to be one more thing to think about, to remember, to do, for now I've decided that's not really worth it to me. Again, my time, my energy is going to be better spent educating myself, educating others, creating art, collaborating, mentoring, daydreaming, writing journals, all the other things. But how that looks for each person and our own personal priorities, of course, is an individual thing and a different thing. So that's the bottom line that I guess I wanted to chat about a little today as I refill my oil and also my soap, is that it takes a while. We can be inspired by how other people arrange their lives and make room for creativity and live, but we're always going to be facing our own personal preferences and circumstances, needs and desires. For me, again, personally, this is what works. I will go on to use deodorant. It doesn't really matter to me which one. Sunscreen, try to find a nice one, but it doesn't have to be this one. A concealer, if you want getting ready with me, we would put on a little concealer under the eyes, just brightening up any dark places and spots, especially when I'm going to be teaching or on camera. Helps me feel a little bit more polished. A brown eyeliner along my lash line. This is, again, an Alverde one. Is that concealer as well? Yes, I'm using all the drugstore brand green products here for Cosmetics, and they're working fine, but if they were to disappear tomorrow, that would be fine too. I would use a different one. Very affordable though, and supposedly eco-friendly, so that is nice. That is what I'm going for. I'm going for sustainable for myself and for the planet. What else have we got here in my self-care corner? We got floss, we got an electric toothbrush, and all the tools of manicures, pedicures, ear cleaning, a little tea tree oil for spot treatment, and the last piece that's not just sitting here, it's sitting usually next to my bed, is the other product that besides the Dr. Bronner soap, that I actually care what it is, and that's Weleda Skin Food for a deep moisturizer. So eye cream, cuticles, and that's why I keep it by my bed, because usually those are things I'm doing before sleep. And this one again is very, very, very natural ingredients and environmentally produced. And this is actually one of the last plastic containers, I guess. They used to have metal containers, tubes back in the day, and then they switched to plastic. And now, in a move that I think is really encouraging and should be supportive, they've moved back to biodegradable metal tubes. And I think it still has a plastic lid, but yeah, go through that. Again, I love things where a little goes a long way, where it really has a noticeable effect on well-being or on the skin or whatever the case may be, is attainable, sustainable, and lets me move along in my day onto other things. So it is nice also to have certain things or most things decanted, delabeled. I find that really helps me also with environmental sort of, what is it called? There's a name for that, for too much input in terms of the eyes and the brain reading labels and being stimulated, looking around the environment. So it provides a calmer transition into and out of my day. Take care of all the basic needs. That's how I handle that. Thanks for a little bit getting ready with me, a little bit talking about just sustainable personal care routines for creative people in general. I hope you have a great one. Take good care of yourself and pay attention. Until next time.